is a deflation of and a destruction of the principle of muwazanat, that you have to praise people if you need to criticize them. So we say to you, for example, stay away from the tafsir of Nouman Ali Khān. Stay far away from the deviant tafsir of Nouman Ali Khān. Stay away from it. And we don't have to say, but he's a good, virtuous brother. Rather we say, stay away from what harms you in your religion. He is a person who slips in deviance here and there and distracts people from the scholars and keeps people from understanding their aqidah. Because the claim here is that Nouman Ali Khān gives such an exhaustive tafsir. He reads 40 to 50 books before he gives a lecture on a verse that he's going to give tafsir about. Oh, he's so comprehensive in the issues that he mentions in his tafsir. Try to find his tafsir of an attribute of Allah. Try to find his tafsir of an attribute of Allah, and try to find the Salafi aqidah in the attributes of Allah. Subhanallah. Tayyib. You are being warned against an individual that will harm you in your religion. An individual that will teach you to read the Quran backwards and look for tafsir in reading the verses from left to right. Reading the Arabic verses backwards with his palindromes, where he seeks out the tafsir of verses when you read them backwards. He will teach you a manhaj in extracting tafsir from the book of Allah that will lead you to the hellfire. The scholars of old, they used to identify when a person reads the Quran backwards that is from the disobedience and the trickery of the magicians. That they would write verses of Allah backwards. We have no interest, because our Salaf had no interest in reading a verse backwards, meaning the letters backwards. And anyone who tries to teach you a methodology in tafsir that includes counting the numbers of times something is mentioned and adding up these numbers in a mathematical tafsir, or the tafsir of reading a verse with the letters backwards and coming to some conclusion, these are people of batiniyya manhaj, people who seek to try to make tafsir of the book with meanings that are not evident in the clear Arabic phrases, yet through reading them backwards you may come to a conclusion. Or through adding up the numbers of the times the word day and night are mentioned and comparing day and night, you'll come to some conclusion in tafsir. This is deviance, and this is not the way of the scholars of tafsir. So we warn you against that individual, and we don't mention any good deeds, because the point here is to get you to reach safety in your religion and to stay away from that harm. Not for you to say, oh, I heard some virtues that were mentioned, and perhaps you never heard of him and you liked those virtues that were mentioned, and now you want to go listen to that harmful person. So stay away from that individual. May Allah Ta'ala guide him. There are a number of things that people would say about those who would criticize or advise and warn the Muslims against harm and mention the names of the people, and it would be a very long Q&A if we allowed ourselves to go into all of those doubts. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. With that, we'll close for the evening, sending salat and salam on the Messenger of Allah and upon his family and followers.